Whose garden is this?
This is a garden that the Brown Berets and Tree Utah put together.
Tree Utah? Who are they?
And they're a non-profit organization. And they basically they're just involved in doing that, creating a self-sustainable garden, so that it could kind of just like last for a while longer, you know.
Yeah. So was there nothing here, and then you guys planted?
Yeah,
it?
there was nothing. There was like over there was just grass.
Wow. So when did you do this? Since what?
This started 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Oh, all right.
And our involvement started this year.
Yeah.
And so that's when we started, and we decided to do it just as a way of introducing the youth that we work with, and a lot of the community, the Latino community, to ideas of like self-determination and food sovereignty and things like that. So that's why we decided to start building it, you know, to talk about environmental issues, to talk about also the fact that, you know, I mean, if we could produce our own food and eat our own food, then that's another way of independence and another way of us liberating ourselves.
That's a very powerful thing.
You know, and at the same time, you know.
Can we walk? Can you give me a walk?
No,
You got one pepper, Isaac?
idea. What? One pepper?
What's a really small one?
Yeah.
All right. So and then tell me your name again.
And also, my name's Isaac.
Isaac. That's right. That's right. And so.
Also another big part of it is culture, right? Like we see ourselves, you know, the Latino people as being indigenous people too, native people, you know, and so part of what we were back in the day was a very agricultural people that understood the idea of food sovereignty and doing for self, you know, and so that's what we try to bring with it too, planting our own food, planting our own corn, which is like the basic of like the basic food of the Americas for a lot of people, and beans, you know. And so we planted that. We planted squash, beans, corn, peppers, tomatoes. What else did we plant? Watermelons. We have a cherry tree. We did a whole bunch of things. Like,
we need somebody to come weed this.
And we need to weed. And usually what we do is we create like workshops with young people. And they'll come and they'll weed it. They came and planted it. A bunch of like little elementary school kids planted all those peppers over there. High school students helped plant this part. And like just dig up the earth and everything, using everything organic, you know, no pesticides, no anything like that.
And so the mission of the Brown Berets is to reclaim Latino culture? To
reclaim our culture, our dignity and our empowerment, right? And to fight for the liberation that we've been fighting for since 1492, right? And so like our goal is to create, well, basically to create revolution, to create a change that'll be able to create an equal society for our people, you know, for our people as in human people in the United States, people in the world, right?
Right, so you just want equality, really.
Yeah, and so like the Brown Berets, even though like in the 70s it was very strict on being a Chicano thing, nowadays it's evolved in a way where it's open to anybody that's willing to fight for la causa, the cause, right? And so we have Pacific Islanders in our organization as well. We have people from so we have one person from Eastern Europe as well that wanted to join our group, and we said, you know what, if you're down, then you're down.
Right.
You know?
If you're willing to pull some weeds. So you guys,
you know,
who waters it?
We do. We actually created this irrigation system where it pumps water almost directly to the plant, so we don't waste water.
Is that called drip irrigation?
It's a drip irrigation, yeah. And so that's what we were able to put that together.
And then you kind of work in shifts to make sure it all gets done.
And Tree Utah has one person that works here regularly, like every day. It's his job to maintain the garden, and he helps out a lot. And he's actually showing up right now. He might be able to talk more about that.
Great. And
so that's part of the goal with this. I mean, we have a bunch of other community programs. We think that the way that we're gonna be able to create change is the way that we were doing it in the 70s, right? Which is create community programs to create, you know, the self-esteem in the community for them to, you know, seize the time. So that's what this is all about.
This is very peaceful, nonviolent.
Of course.
Yeah, and it's right behind the library, so they're cool with it.
Yeah, they're cool with it. Just because, I mean, the fact that we're working with a nonprofit helps out a lot.
Right. Yeah, they like that. Yeah, some kind of.
I mean, the Brown Berets is not a nonprofit. You know, we're
just
a completely voluntary, completely grassroots organization.
Right.
But every once in a while, we'll team up with somebody and try to do some of the things that we can't do as an organization.
Right.
You know?
Sure. Yeah.
As an openly political group.
Right. Right. And what's the interest in Cuba? Like, you're hosting us the Cuba Caravan-istas. Why are you doing that?
Why Cuba? Well, Cuba has been an inspiration, I think, to young Latino people since the revolution occurred, and to people in general, you know. And I think especially us growing up in this country, you know, realizing that we can stand up against the empire, right? And being that this is the 50th year, it's beyond belief that a country that small could be able to withstand an embargo that long and be independent, you know. And so that's inspiring, I think, to us, and we see Cuba as an example. We defend Cuba, you know, against its, you know, against anything negative. We try to fight against the embargo any way that we can. And a lot of our political ideas and everything of sustainability and things like that, like including this kind of garden idea, you know, the Cubans have been doing it for a while now too. And that was how they were able to survive some of the issues that they had during the special period and things like that, is the doing for self, right? Self-determination. And so it's a huge inspiration, and we just want to help out as much as we can.
Oh, we appreciate it. Yeah. I know you were wonderful this last year. Do you want to say anything to the YouTube video?
Hello, YouTube.
Are you gardeners?
No.
No?
I saw as a brown beret as well.
You're brown beret, but you not doing the gardening?
But you're the gardening, but I don't know that much about it.
Oh, I see. Well, that's definitely a learning. Isn't it crazy that we don't know much about food? Like, you know,
sovereignty, we gotta get on that.
I know. It's goofy. Oh, this is beautiful. So does Salt Lake City have a lot of urban gardens, or?
It does. It has a couple of them, but this is, I think, one of the only ones that is, everything's completely edible. Right? So the reason why we're doing it isn't just so that it looks nice, it's so that people can come over here and plant food. Like, plant it, you want to plant it, you can eat it after when it's ripe. You know? And it's for everybody.
It's for everybody. Yeah. You know? Do you have a Food Not Bombs here?
We do. Yeah. And we've worked with them a little bit in the past. Recently we haven't really talked to them much, but they're part of the people who we want to work with too.
Yeah.
And distributing some of this food, you know, and start picking it.
Awesome. Thank you, Isaac.